Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, I am once again asking for prayers. It looks like the universe is once again wanting me to get to know somebody, and it feels like my grandmother setting me up on another blind date. Here's what has happened. A little bit of review. My grandmother passed away a little bit over a month ago, and I was at her funeral. And I made a strange request at her funeral. Actually, my dad was so upset at the request, and you'll see why in a moment. My grandmother was 91 years old. She and Mary Curry coexisted here on Earth for just a few months, if you could believe it. And so I asked my grandmother when she makes it to the other side to talk to Mary Curry, to have her set me up on a blind date with one of her great grandchildren. I had a few in mind actually. 7 years ago, I was in Warsaw when I had a good afternoon with the daughter of the owner of that hostel that I was staying at. She and I had gone out to view Jupiter, and I had explained to her how Jupiter and Saturn would come into conjunction in the near future. 3 years from it was 2017 when I saw her, and turns out she missed it because we talked again last year, and things were kind of running out of steam. And so I thought maybe my grandmother could go talk to Mary Curry. And then, believe it or not, I am kind of friends with a celebrity over in Poland. Uh, I gave her some song suggestions. And I think she used some of them. And a few months ago, I was talking to her when I dropped the L bomb, and it didn't go badly, actually. And we've been talking. It hasn't been more than that, though. So I thought maybe my grandmother could give that a little bit of a push by talking to her great grandmother, right? Okay, so at the funeral, I asked my grandmother to help with that a little bit. And also, Mary Curry discovered polonium 210, obviously, which, believe it or not, is now made from bismuth. In her time, she discovered it from uranium ore, but nowadays it's made in a nuclear reactor. And so I gave my grandmother a crystal of bismuth. It was about half a pound. I left it in the casket. The casket was cremated, so now in her urn, who knows what it looks like, right? I had my grandmother give that to Mary Curry so she could continue her research. And before long, strange things were happening. First, I don't know what compelled me to reopen my Bumble account. I hadn't used it for years. And also, I didn't realize it because at the time they didn't do that. When you log into Bumble, it uses your location, your IP address or whatever, your MAC address. And before I knew it, I was eating sushi with a girl here over in Taiwan, and so it was my last day in Taiwan though, and so it's really sad when she had to get off the train, and I watched her walk into the crowd. It was like watching a part of me disappear. And then I get back home to the United States. We're still chatting. In fact, we were just talking about when I might be able to go back to Taiwan. I hope to go back during the spring break holiday. I really do. But there's other things that I want to do during the spring break as well. It's kind of tricky. I'm kind of leaning toward going back to Taiwan. First of all, my other grandmother is 95 years old. There's no telling how many more visits I'll get to have with her. And second, my trip to Taiwan last month really helped clear my head of a lot of junk that didn't need to be there. I already talked about this. Anyway, so I'm back in Phoenix, and the other day we had a back to school bash at the school, and I had a really good conversation. This time with it seemed more like a relative of Pierre Curry, though, and so maybe it's another blind date that's being arranged, and I'm feeling optimistic again. But I need you guys to dislike this video because the one time I got 50 some dislikes, and it went really well, and made a really close friend. I wouldn't say that was a romantic connection, but I made a really close friend. And in fact, this room that I'm renting, even though I keep complaining about that one bizarre roommate, this room that I'm renting I probably wouldn't have found if it weren't for that connection. Uh, totally worth it, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.